These 5 Excel functions would save you a lot of time, a lot of hours when you are working with a large data set. You're welcome to Scodemy. If this is your first time, do not forget to like, share, and subscribe to our page for more subsequent and more educative content on data analytics. We begin with COUNTIF. Okay, so let's say we have a data set. So this data set, and on the attendance column over here, we want to count the number of a specific category of information. So attendance, on the attendance column, we have yes and we have no. So let's say we want to count the number of yes in this particular column. In doing so, we use the function we call COUNTIF. The syntax is this: you begin with an equal to sign, then you call the function COUNTIF. Now, COUNTIF counts the number of cells within a range that meets the given condition. Now, so we have to specify the range, then you have to specify the condition. So let's double click on it. Now, the range is this whole data set. So we select this whole column, then you bring a comma, space, then you indicate the criteria. Now, the criteria is that we want to count only yes. Now, in dealing with string variables, which is text in Excel, before you enter the text, you have to put it in quotation mark. That is the only way Excel is going to recognize it. So when we are typing a yes, we open the quotation mark this way. Now, you need to type the text as it appears in the data set. Okay, so it is yes. We have capital Y, small e, small s. You type it as it appears. So we type a yes this way, then we close the quotation mark, then you close the parenthesis, then you do equal to. So now we have 16. Okay, so it means that the number of yes in this column is 16. Now let's do for another category of variable over here. So let's say the profession. So we have the profession. Let's say we want to count the number of dressmaking. Okay, so we want to count the number of dressmaking. We use the COUNTIF equal to COUNTIF. Okay, we use the COUNTIF. So you select the range. The range is this. You bring a comma, space, and then you type the text. Okay, the string variable in quotation mark. You type it as it appears. So we are looking at dressmaking. So we open the quotation mark, and now you bring the dress, dressmaking. That is how it's been typed. Then you close equal to. So from here we can see that we have 3 dressmaking, and that is how we use COUNTIF in Excel. The next item we'll be looking at is average. Okay, it is average. So let's say we have this column over here, income before, and we want to find out the average of the income before, wherever you want to put the information. But let's say we just want to calculate the average over here. You only enter equal to, like the syntax, then you bring it average. So the average returns the arithmetic mean, basically, of a data set. So you highlight your range, you close the brackets. So the average for this income before data set is 114.5. We can do same for income after. So average, select the range, close the brackets, equal to. So that is 257. You can do for the subsequent ones over here. This one we are looking at is the if function. So as an analyst, the if function can actually help you to automate and categorize your data sets. It makes your life easy. So the if function, we give a logical condition to Excel, and we ask Excel to execute it if the conditions we have given meet the criteria. Okay, so we have this data set. Over here we have employment. Now we have employed and we have unemployed over here. Now let's just say that we want to assume that all the people that are employed are busy people, and all those that are unemployed, they are not busy. So we want to see the number of idle people. We want to see those that are idle. We want to see those that are busy. So let's say let's insert a column over here this way. Then we'll name this column busy or idle. Okay, busy or idle. Now this way. So we want to tell Excel that Excel should look inside column G. And if Excel sees employed inside the column G, Excel should tell us that a person is busy. If Excel does not see employed in that column, then Excel should tell us that the person is idle. Like any other function in Excel, you begin with an equal to sign, then you type the if. So if checks whether a condition has been met and returns one value if true and another value if false. So that is what we are going to do. Now we are telling Excel that Excel should look inside this column G, and if this column G is equal to employed, then again employed is a string variable, meaning it is a text, so you have to put it in quotation mark and you type it as it appears. Okay, you type it as it appears. So we are saying that if Excel sees employed, Excel should tell us something. Okay, so now when you are done, you bring a comma. Now we have to input the value if true. So we are saying that if Excel sees employed, Excel should tell us that the person is busy. Okay, so we put busy person. Okay, so let's have something like this, busy person. Then we close it. But if it is not employed, comma, Excel should tell us that the person is idle. Okay, so the person is idle person. Okay, so we type idle person, and mind you, all these are string variables, so since they are text, we put them in quotation mark. When you are done, then you close the brackets, then you hit equal to. This is one way of using the if function. All right, so let's try using another if function in a different way. So let's say that we want Excel to look inside the income after. Okay, we want Excel to look inside the income after data sets that we have over here, and we are telling Excel that any value that is less than 100 cedis, it means that the person is a poor person. So any value that is less than 100 cedis, it is a poor person. And any value, if it is greater than 100 cedis, it means the person is rich. So that is the condition, the logical condition we are giving to Excel. So let's say we insert a column over here again. Now we name this column poor or rich. Okay, poor or rich. Now we are telling Excel that Excel should look inside column K. Inside column K, anybody that is earning less than 100 cedis income after, the person is a poor person. So that is what we are saying. So we begin the syntax with an equal to sign, then we say if. So you enter the if, then we ask Excel to look inside this column. If this column is less than, so you bring a less than. Okay, you bring a less than, so let's say you bring a less than 100 cedis over here. Then, and mind you, because this is a value, this is a number, we don't put it in quotation marks because it is a number, it is not a string variable, so we do not put it in quotation mark. Now this is what we are saying: if any value inside the income after is less than 100 cedis, tell me that a person is a poor person. So because poor person is a text, we put it in quotation marks, so we say poor person. Okay, poor person. When you are done, you close the quotation mark, and we are saying that if it is not, it is more than 100 cedis, tell us that the person is a rich person. Okay, the person is a rich person. And remember, you put it in quotation mark, rich person. When you are done with everything, you close your parenthesis, then it hits equal to. So you can see rich person, you can see rich person, you can see poor person, you can see rich person, you can see poor person. So whatever you see, a rich person per this definition is someone who earns more than 100 cedis. A poor person is someone who earns less than that. Now let's check something. So this is 150 cedis. It is a rich person. You can see 50 cedis over here. We have poor person over here. You see, so that is how it works. Okay, and this place is actually 0, so it's a poor person, and that is how all these works. So that is it for the F function in Excel. The next Excel function that we'll be looking at is what we call the xlookup. The xlookup is one of the most powerful modern Excel functions. It helps you in retrieving a particular data very quick. So let's say, let me give you a way how this xlookup works. Let's say we want to find out. So we have IDs over here, okay, in column A. They are IDs. Now we want to know the profession of this person, GE7. So the person with an ID GE7, we want to know the person's profession. Okay, we want to know the person's profession. And so the easiest way to do this is to use what we call the xlookup. In using xlookup, again, the syntax is you begin with an equal to sign, then you type xlookup. So xlookup helps you in searching a range or an array for a match and returns the corresponding items from a second range or an array. By default, the xlookup gives you the exact match. So that is what we are going to do. Now, we said that we want to know the profession of GE7. So you type GE7. You bring a comma. So that is the lookup value. Okay, that is the lookup value. Then we need to find the lookup array. So the lookup value is what we want to identify. The lookup array is the column or the row that contains the data set, and in our case it is column A. So we highlight column A. When you are done highlighting column A, you bring a comma. Then the return array. So what we want to see is where we are going now. So now we are saying that we want to know the exact profession of G7. So now let's go to the profession column. So we select this column this way. That is the profession column. And then again, we say we are asking Excel to tell us the exact profession of G7. So we are done with all our syntax. Equal to, it is agriculture. Let's find out whether it is true that G7 is agriculture. So yes, that is what we are seeing over here. You can do for series of, so let's say we change the G7 over here, we make it G9, for instance. It is photography. So let's look at G9. G9 is a photographer. So let's say we want to change the G9 and make it G12. Okay, it is it is baking and confectionery. So let's look for G12. G12 is baking and confectionery. So that is how it works. This is also another way to use the xlookup. So let's say that this particular person from WA, we want to know whether this person holds any leadership position after the training. We want to go with respect to the syntax equal to xlookup. We are looking at WA, this specific person from WA. Now that is E3. So that becomes our lookup value. When you are done selecting your lookup value, you bring a comma, space. Then the lookup array. So the lookup array is basically the column you want Excel to look in. And now it is the town. So it is this column that we want Excel to look in. Now after selecting our lookup array, you bring a comma. Again, so we have to look at, we are looking for our return array. Now this particular column, O. So we select all of this. When you're done, you close the parenthesis you hit equal to. So you can see yes. Okay, you can see yes. It means that this specific person we pointed inside the town in Wa is holding a leadership position after the training. The last powerful Excel function we'll be looking at is SUMIF function. SUMIF function is used for group analysis. It is one of the most powerful Excel functions, and this one is used for group analysis. So for instance, let's say we want to add up all the total of the female, okay, the female income. We want to add up the total of the female income. We'll use the SUMIF function. Now, just like the same syntax, you begin with an equal to sign, then you call the function. So we are looking for SUMIF. SUMIF begins with the range. So we have to select the range that we want to do the group analysis from. So it is on column B. All right, so we highlight the whole range. When you are done, then you bring a comma, space. Criteria is female, so then you bring a comma, space. Then you select the sum range. So the sum range is the column that you want to do your summation in, that you want to put together or group them together. So our sum range is the income. So we select the income column this way. When you are done, you close the parentheses, then you enter. So you realize that our total female income is 1,590. All right, so let's try another SUMIF function. Let's say we want to add up the totality of all the rich and the poor people over here, okay? So the rich person and the poor person, we want to add up the total rich people amount and the total poor people amount. So let's begin first with the poor people amount. So the poor amount this way. Now we are using the SUMIF function. So we begin with syntax SUMIF. A range is the column that you want to select the specific group from. So it is this L column. Then you bring a comma and space. Then you indicate the criteria. Now our criteria is the poor person. Okay. We type the poor person. Poor person. Then we close the quotation mark. We bring a space. Then the sum range. So the sum range is actually this place. So we select our sum range this way. When you are done, you close your parentheses, then equal to. So the rich amounts, we use same SUMIF. The range is still this range, comma. The criteria is rich person. We close, it's a comma. Then it selects the sum range. The sum range is this column M. You are done, you close, you enter. So the amount is 3,100. So this is how we calculate for the SUMIF function. What you need to know is that these functions are not just for calculations. These functions make your life easier and simpler, and it is not a reserve for only data analytics or data analyst. It is for every single person that works with Excel. Let me know in the comment section which of these functions are you conversant with. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.